I only have 11 slides. This feast is not, it's really not, I don't say complicated. It's a lot of Hebrewisms to it, but because, well, let's just get into it. So we would say Yom Tarai, and then the translations Tarai, they use trumpets. And the reason why we use the word Tarai, because the watchman, he's marking, that's the tie you see, he's marking what the man sees, and that's him. So the watchman is marking what he sees, and he's going to mark what he sees by sounding the trumpet. So that's why our word is Tarai, and it is equivalent to the pagan word trumpets. So Yom Tarai is the day of trumpets, and this is where we mark what we see. Any comments or questions about that?
Khan, just I
Okay.
was talking to Sister Joyce
So
earlier
again, I
today.
just gave you the breakdown, the ta, the ra, and the I. The man marks what he sees. And I'm not saying everyone who
Salakia,
use,
can you hear us?
Babe, somebody's talking.
I'm sorry, I
Somebody's
can't
talking.
hear him.
Okay.
Salakia, can you hear us?
Someone's talking?
Yep.
I cannot. Which
So
one is it?
test, 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 test.
Nariah.
I think
Trying
I
to say
think
something
we can
out?
hear. Can you hear me? I think we can hear each other, but he can't hear us.
Okay. And I can't hear y'all. Okay, let me see what's going on. 1 second. I can't hear y'all. I see what happened. Let me take this one. I don't need you. All right, someone say something, please.
Tess, can you hear me? Can you hear us?
There we go. The water for that. Appreciate that. Please let me know. This software is still brand new. Someone was speaking. I couldn't hear.
Khan, I was just gonna make a quick comment on the word Tarai. I was actually talking to Joyce about it earlier today.
Hold on,
You know,
Rod. What'd you say, Queen? Ben, what'd you say? I am on Wi-Fi. Maybe if the storm comes, I'm on Wi-Fi, so it could be. But Narai, you got it out.
I was just gonna say Tarai when I looked at the word today, uh, similar to what you said, but when I think last year you had mentioned the alarm. So I was just saying the sign or the mark of the chief's appearance, like seeing that
Uh,
Yahweh is sending YAHAWASHai and he's coming because I mean you think about the 7th month and how many feast days, you got Tarai, Kapar, and then Sakah, Day of Atonement. We're looking for that visitation, but if you don't want to have a visitation if you deep in sin, so that alarm being blown, all right, y'all, got to get right, and Abba coming, so you better figure it out by, you know what I'm saying? That's just where my mind goes as far as what I think about.
I think I don't know, it's because it's been a year, but I think we do have that precept when Messiah returns. So he's going to return with a trump. So that's pretty much dead on within the culture. The water for that. Anybody else? All right, so that's the context of the Hebrewism or of the word. Nariah, if you can take us to Leviticus 23, we always want to be obedient and cover the minimums of what Abba asks us to do. And we find this in Leviticus 23 and 24. Vayakara is and he. So Y is and, Yah is he, and Kara means called, and he called. So that's the Hebrew title of this book. Pagans say Leviticus, and it's 23 and 24. We're going to read the Matazawah, the commandment.
You want me to stop at 24? All right.
Come.
Okay, Shema.
Read.
This is Wayaquara, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24. Speak unto the Eladim Yasha'Allah, the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall you have a Shabbat, a memorial of blowing of trumpets and holy convocation.
So this is what we're doing, and we sounded the trumpet. This is a set apart gathering. Where our homes are set apart the best we can. So I pray Abba just pardon us if we fall short, but we're doing the best we can to honor him because we love him and we respect his matazawah, his commandments, the path of life. Any comments or questions about the matazawah? Right, next slide. So I was going to try to do another screen share, but I think I will. Let me see. We're going to go to Yabalim, is Jubilees, and you're going to see this feast is twofold, I believe. Jubilees chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 22, and then we're going to jump down after verse 29. Jubilees 6 and 22, and let me go ahead. I think I had it's hard to find a web page that displays correctly, but I know you guys can't see this, but I'm just going to do it. This is Jubilees or Yabalim 6 and was it 22? So I know you can't see that out, so you're going to have to pull it from your checks.
Does it start, for I have written in the book of the first law?
Calm.
Okay. And you want me to take it down to 29 or just verse 22?
Yes, sir. 22 to 29. Then we're going to skip down just 2 verses to 31 through 38.
God, Shema.
Read.
This is Yabalim, or Jubilees chapter 6, verse 22. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for you, that you should celebrate it in its season, one day in the year. And I explained to you its sacrifices that the children of Israel, or Yaladim Yasha'Allah, should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year.
So I know everyone doesn't enjoy sports or have that background, but in football, the quarterback is the CEO. He's the manager of the team. And the quarterback gives the plays to the team so everyone knows where they're supposed to be. So the play runs smoothly and successfully try to score. So what would you say if the quarterback wasn't telling you to play?
Not really a good leader if that's the case.
He's not a good leader. Okay, that's one perspective.
If he's not telling
Anybody
us to
else?
play, we don't know what to do.
Right. If he doesn't tell you to play, you don't know what to do.
Usually, if you playing on offense and the quarterback didn't tell you to play, usually they look at them with some type of signal like, "Hey, I don't know the play." Like is that the reference you're saying? Like the receiver let's say they was doing hurry up offense, and sorry for the people that don't know, but if they're doing hurry up offense and they missed the signal or didn't get the play, they're usually like looking back at the quarterback, and then they're like doing some type of signal letting him know that I don't know the play.
Okay, that's true too. So that's for those who know the game. The point, and now that you said that, it's probably a bad analogy, but and you play. What would you say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, I don't know if this is it, but in my mind, if the quarterback didn't know the play, I would call into question his coach, because I feel like the quarterback often will get some of the information or the knowledge of what play to run from his coach. So I would be looking at him, like, what's going on with him. Maybe he didn't properly
No, not that the quarterback don't know to play. He didn't tell you to play. The quarterback didn't tell you to play.
Gotcha. So lucky.
In college, sometimes they look at the sideline and they give signals from the coaches on the sideline to tell you what the play was as well.
That's true. Is Kapat home? Is your father home, Ian?
No, he's not.
So where I was going with it, and it was a bad analogy now because you guys know the game too well, but you guys know the game. But on the surface, if the quarterback didn't tell you to play, you're not in the play.
Oh, man.
You're not in the play. So it was no need for you to hear. So right in this verse, it says that I commanded you to explain it to the children of Israel, not the world. Does that make sense?
Con.
Now they destroy my analogy because they know the game too well, but
yeah, I get your point. That would be more like backyard football. He didn't tell you to play, so
right.
Yeah.
You guys were professional. I mean, they got goal sides. But here's the Most High setting up the play, and he's not giving it to the world. He's giving it to the children of Israel. We're special people. All praises. Read on.
Verse 23. And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. Did you want to clarify?
Go ahead, Og. You got it.
Oh, I was asking if you wanted to clarify. I just want you good.
I've been always trying to get to honor these days, but you know, the pagan year, the overtime, the work schedules, just always forget to do it. But these are the divisions of the year. And then I want to point out 4. And 4 is a somebody with the math. 4 is it an integer of 12 or what do they call it? Multiple? It's not a multiple. It's not a multiple, right? It's an integer of 12, right? I forgot that math word. But I'm just pointing out that 4 divisions, you can't divide 13 evenly. Some people are practicing 13 moons, and they give these long presentations of how it's culturally, even though it's not in scripture. They go all around the mulberry bush with these long slides telling people that sometimes there's a need for 13 moons, but 13 is not divisible by 4. That's all I'm pointing out. Anybody want to ask something or any questions about that?
Did you want to clarify? Because some people may look at that and understand that as being the 4 seasons of the month when we only have 2.
No, it's not. Good question. Good point. It's not the 4 seasons. I don't know if we're going to get to it. I think we're going to get to it here. Yeah, we're going to get to it, what these 4 days mean. If you keep reading, we're going to get to it. What Narai's trying to steer us to, we're going to read right into
it. Verse 24. And Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever. so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new moon of the first month, he was bidden to make for himself an ark.
That's
And
why he's celebrating the new moon of the first month is a special day, because that's when the Most High gave him the Matazawa to start making the ark. Everybody sees that? So the 4 days that he has as a memorial forever for us as his descendants is the new moon of the first month. It is a new moon day, but now we're learning it's extra special because that's the day that he received word from Abba to start making that boat. Okay, so that's the first day. Read on out.
And on that day, the Arataza became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the Arataza.
So that's even more. The earth became dry after the flood. The earth became dry on that day. So that's why Noah, and we're supposed to do it too, we're supposed to honor the new moon of the first month extra special. More mac and cheese, more corn on the cob. That's why it's extra special. Okay, read on up.
Verse 26. And on the new moon of the fourth month, the mouths of the depths of the abyss beneath were closed.
So that's why that's the second one. That's the second memorial. The Most High shut the word they taught us in their schools was geysers. The geysers open up. So this text is calling them the abyss. There's holes in the earth that the water was shooting up from. And on the new moon of the fourth month, Abba closed those holes up. So that's why that day is special. That's 2. Read on.
Still on verse 26. And on the new moon of the seventh month, all the mouths of the abysses of the Arataza were opened, and the waters began to descend into them.
So after the water was sitting on the earth for those 5 months, and everything with breath was killed, except Noah and his house, on the new moon of the 7th month, that's today, to the best of our understanding, the Most High told those holes, those abysses, those geysers to open back up to let the water reside. So that's why today is extra special. This is the day that the water started to go back into the earth. Read on out.
Verse 27. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad.
So don't want to hold y'all, but their scientists, archaeologists have confirmed they done found fish fossils and on top of mountain peaks. And it's like, how is this possible? So on the new moon of the 10th month, as the water continues to seep back into the earth, on the new moon of the 10th month, Noah finally seen the mountain peaks, the top of the mountain peaks. So these are not 4 seasons. These are 4 special days that we're supposed to honor, remembering the Most High's grace and mercy that he showed to Noah, who is our progenitor. Any comments or questions about that? Read on out.
Verse 28. And on this account he ordained them for himself as feasts, for a memorial forever, and thus are they ordained. And they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks. From one to another past their memorial.
So before you go, don't want anyone getting confused. This version is written by a sun worshiper, a Catholic. And that's why he's saying in between these 4 days is 13 weeks. But again, we done did the math. I think Shamaria did the math. If you do the math, it points to the Roman system that they got from the Babylonians, sun worship. It's not 13 weeks in between these, it's 12. Again, because 13, you can't get 4 into 13 evenly. So this is just another instance where we see pagans, to keep us in the dark and keep us following their Satan, is messing with our text, messing with our scrolls. It's supposed to be 12 weeks in between these days. Just want to point that out. Go ahead, Op.
It's a good point. For those who I need it even more simplified. Like Ibaryam was mentioning earlier, 4 divided by 12 is 3. So
Calm,
each one having a 3-month period, which would be 12 weeks.
calm.
So let me reread it again, verse 29. And they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 12 weeks from one to another, past their memorial, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth.
Calm. And now we could drop down to 31. 30 is this is again, verse 30 is the sun worship. If you read verse 30, it's pointing to the current Roman calendar, and it's not our culture. That's why we're skipping that. Verse 31.
Verse 31. And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. Want me to keep going on?
Down to 38.
Okay. Verse 32. And command you, the Yalatam Yasha'Allah, that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year. Did you want to comment? You or Shamar want to comment on that real quick? Regarding, is it 360 days? I don't want to confuse anybody, but
Yeah, I didn't want to go too deep into the calendar class, but yeah, your point is valid. Your point is valid.
okay. I'll just read it for what it is, just so we can stay on topic, and then we can, talk off the stream if anybody has any questions. I'll start over. Verse 32, and command you, the Yalatam Yasher Allah, that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feasts. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order, and they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. And all the Yalatam Yasher Allah will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Shabbatim, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto you, and it is not of my own devising. For the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of the days is ordained, lest they forget the feasts of the covenant and walk according to the feasts of the other nations, after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Shabbatim and feasts and Yabalim. For this reason, I command and testify to you, that you may testify to them. For after your death, your children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Shabbatim and Ma'adim, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
So this is what happened to us. This is why we're all messed up now. Some people, immature, starts arguments, break up relationships, and Most High is to be magnified. We have matured. We just do the best we can, but the nation has been off since the days of old. But all praises to the Most High for giving us a heart to seek Him, to really be students and doing the best we can. But the right is trying to get you to see, and again, I don't want to go into the calendar class. We have classes uploaded, 364 does not make sense. We have 12 months in our year, and then most months are 30 days, some are 29. So let's just say every month was 30 days long between the moons, between the renewed crescent. If you do the math, 12 months times 30 days is 360 days. You don't get 364. We know, according to Abba, his system, there is never 31 days. There is never 31 days. The pagans, the Satanists, they have came up with a Babylonian system based on astrology to say some months have 31 days to keep their system close to the Most High's, but it's abominable. That's all we're going to say. Any comments or questions about the Feast of Tarai, the memorials, and why we make a big deal about today? Okay, back to the slide. I think that's the only apocryphal text we needed. So, Bamadabar is into the wilderness, and we're going to go to Bamadabar chapter 10, verses 1 through 10. I'm going to let you have it. Stop giving so much commentary. Let y'all get back to Real Housewives. Bamadabar chapter 10, verses 1 through 10.
Shemar.
Read.
This is Bamadabar, the book of Numbers, chapter 10, verse 1. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to you at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And if they blow but with 1 trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Yasha'Allah, shall gather themselves unto you. When you blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When you blow an alarm the 2nd time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and you shall be remembered before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall be saved from your enemies. Also, in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your Elohim. I am Yahweh your Elohim.
All praises out the water. So what you're reading here, what you're hearing here, Mashapad, our culture, our constitution is given to us by Abba. We didn't make things up. So sounding shofars is not just something we do. It's part of our culture. And the text says when you sound, he's giving us Morse code. You know, he's telling us make this sound as an alarm to let the people know, hey, we got war, we got beef. But if it's just a blowing, that's just, it's time to come together for worship, or it's time to come together to have a meeting. So our way of life is given to us by the great I Am, and we're the only nation that can say this. And to this day, as we're waking up, we're showing people what we're doing, what we're wearing, what we're speaking. We can find it ordained by Abba. So it's a special thing. And more importantly, the text says, verse 9, when you sound this alarm, I'm going to hear you. I'm going to remember you. I'm going to save you. So we put the heavenly host on alert when we sound our shofars. All praise to the great I Am. Any comments or questions about that passage? All right, next slide is Ezekiel 3:16 through 21. And can you pull it up in the Septuagint, and I'll see how bad it is in the Masoretic.
Does it start, and after the 7 days, the word of Yahweh came to me? Just want to make sure I'm on the right chapter.
Come on.
Okay. Shema.
This is Ezekiel 3:16. I'm going to compare what I'm going to read. Read up.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 16. And after the 7 days, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, I have made you a watchman to the house Bayat of Yasha'Allah, and you shall hear a word of my mouth, and shall threaten them from me. When I say to the wicked, you shall surely die, and you have not warned him, to give warning to the wicked to turn from his ways, that he should live, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at your hand. But if you warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, and from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, and you shall deliver your soul.
This is why I do what I do. My wife, she's a bad witness, but everything I do with passion. I do it with my heart, soul, and trying to win the Most High's children, even your family, is a hard task. And you have times when you do grow weary. All of you are getting your own testimonies of just being tired, trying to show them the way. But you got to remember what the Most High just said. If we don't warn the people about the wickedness of this world that we learned from the enemy, our family and friends, the co-workers we're around, they're going to die. They're going to perish. But because we were around them and we kept our mouths closed, we're going to be charged with their blood. So that's why I refuse to be quiet. I refuse to shut up. No, I may not tag Christians. I may not go people churches and debate pastors. I don't believe that's what the Most High want me to do. But with my social media page, whatever money I can buy, make signs, go out in the streets, I'm going to warn the Most High people that we've been following pagan customs that he hates. Because I got too many sins that I need him to forget about. So that's why we have to. You can't just remain silent because you don't want to start trouble. You don't want to just upset anyone. Those people are going to perish, but you're going to be charged with it. Read on up.
Verse 20. And when the righteous turns away from his righteousness and commits a trespass, and I shall bring punishment before him, he shall die. Because you did not warn him, he shall even die in his sins, because his righteousness shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at your hand. But if you warn the righteous not to sin, and he sin not, the righteous shall surely live, because you have warned him, and you shall deliver your own soul.
Now, this is powerful because he's saying that you can deliver the righteous from sin. Man, I don't want to hold y'all. This Christianity we came in gave all kind of pretenses. If you're saved, then you don't do this. If you're saved, then you don't talk like that. But here's this text where Abba is speaking, saying that if you help a righteous person repent from their transgression, they're going to be saved. In the Greco-Roman sense, how can a righteous man sin? Because Sin is transgression of the law. It doesn't mean I'm not righteous because I committed a transgression. I'm right now, I'm at odds with Abba. But once I humbly admit, Abba, I'm sorry. I got weak, X, Y, Z. Can you sincerely forgive me? And at this time, they will offer a animal, but now we don't have to offer no animal. All we have to do is with a contrite heart, Abba, I'm sorry. I'm trying. This flesh is strong. This flesh is evil. Father, please give me the strength to overcome. Give me the power to overcome. Remove this from me, and he's going to forgive you. So being righteous is not about being perfect in the Greco-Roman sense. It's about quickly repenting. Soon you feel it. Don't let that callous come over your heart and you just go, no, Father, I'm sorry. I'm trying. Father, maybe I could have did something better. So being righteous don't mean that you're sinless. Did anyone catch that?
And that's huge, honestly. I'm glad this is probably what I came for, honestly.
Well, praise. Sorry, we ain't got no food for you, brother. Where we at?
We're at verse 22. We're at verse 22, but I just wanted to quickly point out, you made a comment saying that Abba said that we can deliver the righteous from sin. That sounds like YAHAWASHAI to me.
That's what he came to do. But actually, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But
didn't YAHAWASHAI
I came not to call the righteous to repentance, but the sinners. But then we also have, there's none righteous, no, not one. Again, that's getting into textual criticism, yeah. Did you finish your thought out?
Well, just in the sense of YAHAWASHAI saying, greater works shall you do. And we have been, to me, when I read this and just put the witnesses together, we've always had the power to do a lot of these things. And it just goes to show you how YAHAWASHAI came to reconcile and not make a new thing like the Christian church likes to say. But I'll yield with that. Verse 22. Verse 22. Where you want me to go down to? I just want to make sure I don't overread.
The 21 was what we came for.
Okay.
21
okay.
was it came for. I just never really caught that revelation till tonight. So all praise to Abba for that fresh manna. The next slide, we're ready. This is Ya'ala 2, 1 through 13. Ya'ala is Yah is my power. Yah is my guide. Yah is my leader. Joel 2, verses 1 through 13. And again, the Septuagint is marked for a reason. I can't remember, but I'm going to follow you in the Masoretic text.
Shema.
This is Joel 2, 1 through 13. Read.
This is Ya'ala, or Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Sound the trumpet in Zion. Make a proclamation in my holy mountain, and let all the inhabitants of the land be confounded. For the day of Yahweh, or Adonaiah, is near. For a day of darkness and gloominess is near, a day of cloud and mist. A numerous and strong people shall be spread upon the mountains as the morning. There has not been from the beginning one like it, and after it there shall not be again, even to the years of many generations. Before them is a consuming fire, and behind them is a flame kindled. The land before them is as a paradise of delight, and behind them a desolate plain, and there shall none of them escape. Their appearance is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they pursue. As the sound of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, and as the sound of a flame of fire devouring stubble, and as a numerous and strong people setting themselves in array for battle. Before them shall the people be crushed. Every face shall be as the blackness of a cauldron. As warriors shall they run, and as men of war shall they mount on the walls, and each shall move in his right path, and they shall not turn aside from their tracks, and not one shall stand aloof from his brother. They shall go on weighed down with their arms, and they fall upon their weapons, yet shall they in no wise be destroyed. They shall seize upon the city, and run upon the walls, and go up upon the houses, and enter in through the windows as thieves. Before them the earth shall be confounded, and the sky shall be shaken. The sky shall be shaken. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their light. And Yahweh shall utter his voice before his hosts, for his camp is very great. For the execution of his words is mighty. For the day of Adonai, or the day of Yahweh, is great, very glorious, and who shall be able to resist it? Now therefore, saith Yahweh your Elohim, turn to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with lamentation, and rend your hearts and not your garments, and turn to Yahweh your Elohim, for he is merciful and compassionate, long-suffering and plenteous in mercy, and repents of evils.
Man. Whew, man, that is powerful. So I've heard this taught as if these are angels, but reading this text, this parallels Ezekiel 37. We are these people that nothing can hurt us. It says if we fall upon our weapons, it won't hurt us. We are the great and exceeding army that the Most High is going to rend vengeance to this earth for what they did to his people and to the innocent. Man, I can't wait for the day. Any comments or questions about that? That's beautiful, beautiful. Next slide. I don't think we're going to be too much longer. This is the end times. The pagans would say eschatology, the end times. Matthew 24 and 30 through 31.
Shema.
And I was tired. I didn't even feel like meeting, but I was like, I just want to honor you. But now hearing these prophecies, these promises, might just get me stirred up. Man. Matthew 24, and where we at? 30 and 31. Read up.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in Shemayim, and then shall all the tribes of the Arataza mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of Shemayim with power and great glory. And he shall send his Malachim with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
This is what Tarai was already alluding to earlier when his breakdown of Tarai. The Malachim, the angels, are marking the chief. Who's the chief of us? Second to the Most High is YAHAWASHAI. And the angels, the Malachim, is marking his coming. He's returning. The one y'all thought y'all killed, the one y'all thought y'all destroyed, here he is again. Here he is again. Man, that day is going to be great. Any comments or questions about that? All right, next slide. This is again eschatology, Revelations 8. Revelations 8, verse 2, and then we're going to drop down to 7.
month.
Revelation 2 and 7. Read.
The book of Chazawan, or Revelation chapter 8, verse 2. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before Elohim, and to them were given 7 trumpets. Verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the Arataza, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from Shemayim, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and a third part of the sun was smitten, and a third part of the moon, and a third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise.
All praises. So a lot of people, especially if they are cemetery trained, they like to say that Revelation or Chazawan is a lot of symbolic language. And I can admit there are some symbolism here, but I really believe what we just read about these angels, Malachim, sounding these trumpets. I believe this is going to be a physical thing happening on the earth. The waters turn into blood. I really believe it's physical. Most High been giving us previews with these, what they call them, blood moons, these eclipses. I really believe these are just previews preparing us, his people, that when it happens for the actual event, we are not caught off guard, scared, because it's going to be pandemonium. Can you imagine hearing the loudest horn you've ever heard where your walls are shaking? Because the Malachim are not like you and I. You see, we're just learning how to blow shofar. We're struggling. Lungs is out of shape. These Malachim, when they sound their trumpets, it's going to shake the earth. And these events, I really believe, are going to happen. We just don't have any other witnesses because John is the only one that sees these visions. So we don't have any other witness to confirm that these are physical acts. But I believe these are going to be physically manifested on the earth. These angels are going to sound, and the earth is going to, water to blood, these mountains. I believe this is going to happen. Any comments or questions about these 7 trumpets?
Khan, I just wanted to quickly comment on the previous precept that we read. I believe it was in Bamadabar, how when the sons of Aaron, the Levites, are blowing the trumpets, it's a signal for those who understand what's happening. So even though the point was a little bit different from the analogy that you gave, just like in football, when you don't necessarily know the play, you look to the chief and he'll give you the signal, the hand gesture, especially in like baseball. They're really known for it. You give the hand signal or some type of sign to let your team know what's going without tipping off the other team. So I just say all those things to say, just like what you were alluding to, not being scared or fearful when these things happen. That's the importance of studying, meditating on this stuff day and night, keeping the commandments, so you will have the understanding for when these things happen. Because at this point, you know, a lot of people look at these eclipses and blood moons and like, oh, they're so beautiful. It's so majestic. And some people even worship these things. But for us, it's a sign to let us know that this stuff is wrapping up. So when things like the trumpet and the pandemonium breaking out, we rejoice when, you know, the others are just falling apart. But I just wanted to say that.
Con, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Not only that, I really believe us being set apart, we will get those dreams to warn us that it's about to happen. This is what's going to come, and that's when someone else is going to speak up. I seen this, and it may not be the same manifestation that you received, but when we get 2 and 2, it's like you guys seen the same thing. That's confirmation. It's going to happen. We don't have to be mystical. We don't be walking around here shaking and you know, putting sage all around. It's just going to happen. Us being commandment keepers, it's going to happen. We're going to get a word from on high, and we're going to share it with one another. It's just who we are. It's nothing special. It's not miraculous. It's being Israel. That's who we are. Any other comments or questions? All right, let's go to Chapter 1, 9 and 1, and then drop down to 13 if you don't mind.
Shemai.
And we don't have too much more. We're in Revelations. We're going to pretty much wrap up in the next couple of minutes. Chapter 1, 9 and 1. Read out.
This is Chapter 1, Revelation, chapter 9, verse 1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from Shemayim unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. I want to drop down to 13, you said?
And 13,
And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before Elohim, saying,
go ahead, continue on.
Saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 Malachim, which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
So I'm just pointing out what me and Tarai were just talking about. This right here are physical events, because these 4 angels bound in the Euphrates, who are these 4 angels? Anybody? Bound in the Euphrates.
4 horsemen?
No. The 4 angels. Did you say 4 horsemen?
Khan.
No. These 4 angels bound in the Euphrates. Where do we read that language at? I know you know.
Enoch.
You talking about Enoch and Jubilees?
Enoch. Remember those angels who fell with Hashatan? And they begged Enoch to pray for them? And then Enoch went to the Most High, and then the Most High says to bound them in the Euphrates. So that's why I'm saying, because the Christians want to spiritualize everything, they're saying, oh, this is symbolic. But the bottomless pit is on earth. It's not in heaven. And I don't have witnesses, but we've seen volcanoes. And, you know, maybe the volcanoes are the bottomless pit. Because it says their worms not going to die. These people are going to be tormented in everlasting fire. So it's only the Most High who stops these volcanoes. I know that they show us in news with them spraying chemicals from helicopters and all this. You know, they think you can't stop that volcano. The Most High the one tells that volcano, okay, stop. So this is physical things that's going to happen. The Malachim are going to sound trumpets, and it says, loose the 4 angels. What verse was that? 14. Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great Euphrates. So the text is saying angels. We would call them demons now, because yes, they're spiritual beings, but they rebelled against Abba. So these are bad spirits. These are Haran Rawaks. These are evil spirits. So again, The Feast of Tarai, or the Feast of Trumpets, is for us to rehearse, practice our culture, and be on guard. And again, all of us are still learning how to sound trumpets, but it's part of our culture and it means something. Different blasts mean something. That's why we stress so much. We stress our culture. Just at the job the other day, we had dress down, and I wore what they call a t-shirt, but it had graphics, a scripture, and it had my fringes. And my supervisor, who is, she's a sister, she's a Hebrew, she knows, her husband and cousin, is one of those camp people. And she came to me and she was like, when she saw me, she greeted me this, good morning. And then she was like, Abaya, now how you want me to explain if they come to me about your t-shirt? And I was like, I still forgot what I was wearing, because I'm like, I don't have a t-shirt on. And I says, well, sis, just let them know this is my culture and this is not a t-shirt. This is a religious garment. And just leave it at that. And she said, okay, I got it. And so in my mind, I started rehearsing. Now, if they try to pull me in the office, I'm just going to go ahead and follow EO on them and let them know I was trying to give you all some grace, but this is covered by Title VII. My culture is not your culture. Your culture calls a t-shirt. In my culture, this is a garment. We wouldn't wear this as a t-shirt. In my culture, a t-shirt is an undergarment. This is not an undergarment. So it's one of those things while we stress our culture, because our way of life has nothing to do with this system at all. So the Feast of Trumpets is getting us used to hearing trumpets, sensitive to the trumpets. So when we do hear from Shemayim, we understand what's going on. We know any time to panic and, start grabbing some cereal pack. All that is, Abba has what we need. Abba has what we need. So this Feast of Tarai is more than just, sounding trumpets. It's returning to our culture, getting our spirit back sensitized to the Most High's way of life, our culture that he set up for us. Moses didn't set this up. Aaron didn't set this up. Abba set this up so we can be sensitive to him and hearing from his heavenly hosts. Any comments or questions about that? All right, I think Chazal 11 and 15, this may be the last slide, I'm not sure. Can't remember exactly. Chazal 11 and 15.
Mark.
Read.
Book of Chazal, chapter 11, verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Adonai and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever.
All praises, all praises, all praises. This is another verse that just disproves the Trinity. Chapter 1, Revelations 11 and 15, the seventh angel is sounding, and it says, great voices were heard in Shemayim. And these voices are saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Yahawah and of his Mashiach. If they're the same people, this verse makes no sense. But they're not the same people. The kingdoms of this earth and man, I don't want to hold y'all. The Most High controls everything. Everything belongs to Abba. But he relinquished things to Satan. Remember, Job says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And then YAHAWASHAI, when he was going through his trials, the 40 days and 40 nights, and Hashatan came and teleported him on top of the pinnacle and says, all this belongs to me, but if you bow down and worship me, I'll give it to you. And Hashatan wasn't lying. The Most High had leased it to him for a time. So now we see a reversal. And how wonderful it is. This reversal is happening with which angel? Which count is this?
The seventh.
The seventh. The seventh. What does 7 mean in Hebrew?
Complete Sabbath.
Shabbat.
Shabbat. You brothers make me so proud, man. Listen, I'm ready to be offered. I'm not ready to leave, but I'm serious. I'm proud. I have no doubts. If I'm gone, this group's going to be all right. So for those who didn't follow, what we just highlighted is this seventh angel, he's the pinnacle. He's the peak of what's going on. And seventh in Hebrew means Shabbat. Shabbat means oath. And that's what Shabbat means. We're rehearsing that we have a covenant with Abba. Because of the Christian dogma, all they know is rest, rest, rest. You're supposed to rest. And it's deeper than resting. It's you're supposed to remember, I got a covenant. I got an eternal covenant that if I obey his commandments, we're going to be on top. My crops are going to be blessed. My wife's womb is going to be blessed. My children are going to be obedient and prosperous. All I got to do is obey this covenant. So how befitting that this seventh angel, he's the height, he's the peak of restoration. The world has been returned to Abba. Because, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Not that it's hard to really not Abba still owns this world. He owns everything. But in his world, there is no chaos. In his world, there is no pedophilia. You can't exist in Abba's world with wickedness. Am I making sense?
That's why no flesh can enter into the kingdom.
No flesh can enter. This flesh is dirt. This flesh is a result of sin. We're not supposed to have these suits. This suit was given for grace. Father, help us. This suit was given for grace. Because he could have destroyed Adam when you disobeyed. But Abba, full of love and compassion, gave him grace. And now I'm going to put this suit on you called flesh. So now you're going to feel what it's like to be thirsty. You're going to feel what it's like to be hungry. So now this seventh angel, Shabbat, is restoring order back to the earth. The earth is coming back into the possession or to the, I don't want to say possession. It's hard to, the earth is coming back into the order of Abba. It's coming back into his order. Because right now, even the strangers, when their children are murdered and kidnapped, it still hurts Abba because he has compassion on the stranger. No, they don't belong to him. They're not in covenant with him, but he still created the stranger. So even when these stranger children are born with cancers and all these deformities, it still hurt Abba to see a stranger crying for their child. Even though the stranger is not in covenant with him, he still has compassion. So he feels their hurt. It's just with us, it's more intense. I'm gonna get out your way. Any comments or questions? I can't say this is the last one. I can't remember. Charles 1, 14 and 12. Charles 1, 14 and 12.
Shema.
Revelations 14 and 12. Read out.
The book of Chazwan, chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the Quadashiam. Here are they that keep the commandments of Allahayim and the faith of Yahawashi.
We've been saying it for years. All of you guys are just family now. Sound like a broken record. It's a package deal. We accept the commandments as our constitution, as our way of life, and we accept Yahawashi, the Son, as our vehicle, as our way, our ride home. It's a package deal. So everything that the church, Christianity, has tried to propagate, oh, the law was not full of faith, and the law means you reject Messiah's work. This text, the last scroll, Revelation 14:12 says, here is the patience of the set apart Kadashim, those who keep the commandments, not of Moses. They keep the commandments of Yah, because Yah gave them, and they have faith, Amanah. They are rooted, they are established because of what Christ did. We are reestablished because of the blood of Christ. It's a package deal. We would never disrespect Yahawashi. We would never take him for granted again. Any comments or questions about that? All praises out. That's Yom Tarai, the Feast of Trumpets. I pray the Most High was magnified. I pray that he was proud of us. Narad, the Water Rabbah, for all that labor. This is it. I pray the Most High is still smiling upon us with our efforts. Any comments, questions about the Feast of Tarai, why we do it, why it's special, what does it mean to Abba?
I had a comment about what was the verse we just read? Oh yeah, chapter 11. Just showing seeing the differences on how they always distinguish the two between the Most High and His Son. And verse chapter 11 and 15 we read, and it said the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of Yahweh, or the kingdoms of our Adonai. And if someone was trying to say that it wasn't speaking about Yahweh, it says, and of his anointed one, or his Mashiach, or his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. That's another clue as well, because who's the one that's reigning forever and ever? We know that it's the Most High. But if that wasn't enough as well, 16, it says that the 24 elders which sat before God, which would be Yahweh, fell upon their faces and worshiped Yahweh. And it says, we give thanks to thee, or thee thanks, O Adonai, or O Yahweh, Allahayim, Almighty, or Al Shaddai. And it says, which art and was and art to come. And if I did a little breakdown of Revelations chapter 1 through 5, but the one that was, the one that is and was and is to come, we know that it is the Father, because the Father hasn't dwelt with the people yet, and that's his promise at the end. And that should also help people confirm the difference between that it's a distinguishment between the Father and the Son. And this is talking about how the last judgment, where the Most High is giving reward unto his servants, the prophets, the saints, and to those that fear him. And I just wanted to point that out. And then you were speaking about just the Messiah and what he was doing, and how he is re-establishing us back with the Father, and reestablishing the people. And it's just so funny, man. I was listening to some people debate, and I haven't been on any of that stuff like in a long time. And for some reason this week, my spirit was open to be able to like hear all these different perspectives. And I was just reminded about how lost these people they were. But I just wanted to say I didn't want to go too deep into it because I'm gonna do like a class about it in the future. But I was seeing that how it says that Christ is to bring reconciliation for the people. In Hebrews, it says that and it says all over the place, but it says that he is the reconciliation for us back to the Father. I think it's like Hebrews chapter 2 and like 16 or 15, one of those down near the end. But I was seeing that reconcile means to atone. It basically so in the New Testament is using reconcile, but it could have just said that he was the atonement for us. And atonement goes back to kapar. And it's kind of giving it away, but it goes all in fitting with this too, because we know atonement is coming up. But it's basically the Most High's hand covering the gap of man or the sins of man. And it's just so powerful what he's really doing. And what you have said just sparked that thought, because that's one of the things that my dad, or not just him, but Christians in general, they ask is like, when we say we have to keep the commandments and things like that, what's the purpose of Jesus Christ? And, his purpose is very, very clear. And it's amazing to see how the Most High, he keeps the same order of, like, even though he used animal sacrifices with his feast days in the beginning, he just had his son replicate the same order that he already set up from the beginning. So I just was rambling, but I just wanted to say that.
No, because it's right on time. Never I see you out. Man, sheesh. Well, I say this because I don't know if you have your digital copy in front of you or your hard copy, but for everybody as a witness to what he said regarding Revelation 11, my hard copy gives a witness. When when Shemaiah read 11 and 17, and he's pointing out that it's not Christ the text is calling Lord God Almighty, because that's how the Christians has learned this text. Lord God is Jesus, but this is referring to the Most High, because like he says, the verbiage here is Lord God Almighty, which art, which was, and are to come. Now, the Christian is going to push you towards, oh, this is referring to Christ's second coming. But it's not. My text has a footnote for Revelation 1 and 4. Does anyone have a footnote for Revelation 1 and 4? Because when you go to Revelation 1 and 4, it confirms what he said, that it's distinguishing this is Abba. Because Revelation 1 and 4, the intro says, John, to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you, and peace, shalom, from him which is, which was, and which is to come. Okay, let's see if this is Christ. And from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. Now, for the sake of time, I won't do this. You can do it on your own. The 7 spirits before his throne, the 7 spirits are before Abba's throne, not Christ. So when the Shemaiah broke down Revelation 11:17, saying that that's not the Son, it's the Father, Revelation 1 and 4 confirms that. Does anybody see that? All praises for that fresh manna. Rod, you had your hand up out?
Khan, I just wanted to let me back off what Shamar said and just say, just express the importance of the language and the culture, but specifically in this example, the language itself. This is why the name Jehovah don't mean nothing, or
God,
Yahweh, or
God,
God, or Lord. This is why Yahweh means everything. Even Ahia, when he was speaking first person to Masha, because just like what you brought out a few years ago, Ahia and Yahweh essentially mean the same thing. The Most High is just speaking first person when he said it to Masha, and we speak in third person saying
God.
Yahweh. They both mean I am, he is. So when you're reading this, if you understand the Hebrew and the culture, the one who is and who was and who is to come, who is, well, the one that's been saying he is the entire time.
God.
So I just wanted to say that. I can't remember my other point, but that was pretty much the bulk of my thought, but I'll yield with that.
All praises, definitely, definitely. I love it. Most High is with us. Any other comments or questions before we close out for the evening? All right,
It came
the
it
water
came back to
revive
me.
for all the. Go ahead, Art.
I just wanted to comment on Kapar. Obviously, I know we got the day coming up, and I'm pretty sure either you or Shamar are going to expound more on it. But
Do you have
uh,
off out?
Khan, I'm off the 9th and the 10th day. So Khan, I'll be off those 2 days.
You want to take it? You want to take the presentation?
Khan, I
No
can.
pressure, but definitely, definitely. Go ahead. Like I said, I got the notes that I built, but if you need help, we got a whole body of brothers and sisters to help you. So, you know,
Khan, I was just going to comment on, just the word itself. Kapar, just like Shemaria said, covering the sins of man, and also, a Hebrewism for the one gonna have his hands pierced,
uh,
YAHAWASHAI. But that's all I had. I'll yield with that.
it just makes so much. If everyone could really commit to learn those glyphs and returning to our culture, our way of life is not hard. I tell my wife all the time, you know, this religious spirit that they put on us, and you got to walk this way, talk this way. Our culture, our nation has nothing to do with that. You keep the commandments and live, and whatever you need is going to be supplied. Not because you done said some powerful magical prayer that done moved the Father. No, like you're keeping the contract. You're keeping the contract. So all praise to the great I am. The water above for those who sacrifice. Pray someone was edified. Pray the Most High was magnified. Always by Hashem, by the blood, name, and fame of His only begotten Son. Shemaria, if you don't mind offering up a word of prayer, then we'll just say shalom for the night.